multi-agency task force that was formed to investigate the recent and apparently random shooting incidents in northern Colorado continues to vigorously pursue any and all leads related to this investigation. A person recently reported to the task force they were shot at the night of June 3rd, 2015 in the area of Denver Avenue and East Eisenhower Boulevard in Loveland. That is approximately 2 miles from East 1st Street and St. Louis Avenue, where Mr. William Knoll was shot during the late evening hours that same night. The person shot at was not injured. Task force investigators have been able to develop what they believe to be a depiction of a vehicle of interest based on several interviews and canvasses during this investigation. Investigators believe it is likely these two incidents are related and is seeking information about this vehicle of interest. Specifically, the task force needs the public's help in locating a 1970s model, full-size, single-cab Chevrolet or GMC pickup truck that is faded orange in color with a full-size bed. It is possibly a 1973 to 1979 model GM pickup based on the round headlight shape. The pickup is one color, faded orange, and has black primer on the driver's side body. An artist's depiction of this vehicle is here with us today. While the shooting in Larimer County on April 22nd and the shooting of Mr. John Jacoby on May 18th in Windsor have been linked by evidence, there is still no indication of a direct link between those two incidents and the two incidents in Loveland. Anyone with information regarding this vehicle of interest is asked to call the task force tip line at 970-498-5595, where you will remain anonymous, or email the task force at taskforce@larimer.org. If you see this vehicle moving and or occupied, please call 911 immediately so local law enforcement can respond. Be sure to follow the directions of the emergency dispatcher. If you can do so safely, please gather as much information about the vehicle to include license plate, state, and number, distinguishing characteristics of the vehicle, description of the occupant or occupants, and or a photograph if you can safely get one. The Federal Bureau of Investigation continues to offer a $20,000 reward for information leading to the arrest, prosecution, and conviction of the individual or individuals responsible for any of these crimes. Now, I want to reiterate a few things about the vehicle itself. As you can see from the depiction, it is faded orange, but I want to make it very clear that it is one solid color. This is not a two-tone pickup truck. Okay, it's faded orange everywhere with the exception of the black primer. So it's not as if the top of the vehicle is a different color than the bottom of the vehicle. Okay, it's not two-tone, one solid color, faded orange. Pay special attention to the round headlights. That is something that is helping the task force narrow it down to possibly the 73 to 79 model. It could be a GMC or a Chevrolet pickup. And we want to make that distinction so that people don't get in their minds that they're looking for just one or the other. It could be either one. It is believed to be a GM product, which includes both Chevrolet and GMC. At this time, I'll answer any questions that I might be able to.
You
Yes,
said
Lauren.
this is a vehicle of interest in the June 3rd shootings. Is it also a vehicle of interest in the May and April shootings?
That is something that we certainly cannot rule out, but at this time the task force do believe that it is most likely linked to these most recent incidents in Loveland.
How did you guys know this wasn't a vehicle of interest?
I'm sorry.
What led you to this vehicle?
Okay. Through the interviews and canvassing that the task force investigators have been doing throughout this entire investigation, along with this most recent report of this person who was shot at.
Do you also have video? Do you also have video
Of
any evidence that shows that vehicle?
I am not aware of video of this. However, that would fall into that evidence category where we probably would not release it.
Can you tell us more about what this person reported regarding this vehicle that was shot at?
I can't go into great detail other than the fact that they said that on that evening they were shot at, and thankfully they were not hit, they were not injured, but they were able to finally come forward and report that to the task force.
Was this drawing based on the report of that one person who was shot at and not injured, or is it based on multiple witness reports, other statements you guys have gotten? If so, how many?
I don't know a number. However, I do believe that the depiction is based on multiple interviews and canvasses, that the investigators have done their best to try to vet this information before we put it out.
To follow up, were those all people in Loveland, or was it also people in Windsor and Larimer where those other shootings
I'm
happened?
sorry, I don't have that warrant.
How many other shootings are you guys looking into? So you got this latest one we just heard about today, that June 3rd. Any other shootings that you guys are looking into now that appear like they're linked, but before maybe didn't appear that way?
Okay, so to recap, we have the April 22nd incident, the Windsor homicide. Those two have been linked by evidence. We have the homicide in Loveland, this most recent report of the shooting on the same night. Investigators believe those two incidents are likely linked, and there are no other shooting investigations that I'm aware of that the task force is investigating.
Do you know
When-
if those two in Loveland are linked to the previous two? Yeah.
Well, as I stated earlier, and this will be in the information that you receive also, the first two incidents are linked by evidence. Investigators believe that these most recent two incidents in Loveland are likely linked to each other. There is still no positive link to the Loveland incidents and the two prior incidents.
So
When
that
did the person shot at come forward and say, yeah, you know what, I was shot out that night too?
When?
Yeah, when did they let you
Late
guys
last
know?
week.
Late last
And
week.
did that person say whether the individual in this pickup said anything before firing?
I don't have that information. I'm sorry.
Was it just one person in the pickup?
I don't have that information either.
Was that person walking? Was it a man, a woman?
I can't go into that. I'm sorry.
What-
That's still part of the ongoing
What about the
investigation.
person shot at? Can you be more specific? Eastbound, westbound, on Eisenhower, Denver? Were they on Denver?
I cannot. I'm sorry.
Were they in a vehicle or walking or on a bike at the time?
That part is still part of the investigation that the task force is looking into.
That he or she didn't just say, I was walking and someone shot at me, or I was
The,
on a
the
bike.
task force knows. They're just choosing not to release that information at this time.
Thanks for clarifying.
Ultimately, we just need someone to call the task force with information about this vehicle.
Will we
Was
have a
this
better
a
idea?
local pickup?
Thank you, guys.
Sir, do you know what